Moving on, external threat landscape management platform Cyfirma has identified Lazarus Group, North Korea-backed hacker group behind the Indian crypto exchange WazirX's breach. Now, the state-sponsored attack is linked to North Korea's Reconnaissance General Bureau, a primary intelligence service. To elaborate more on this, joining me now is Kumar Ritesh, the founder and CEO at Cyfirma, and also my colleague Arundathi. Ritesh, welcome to Startup Street. Now, according to Cyfirma's researchers' analysis, due to the WazirX breach, close to $235 million were lost in crypto assets. And you say the attacks were carried out by two subgroups of the Lazarus group. Who are they? Also, if you could elaborate on the details of the attack.
It's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Well, Lazarus Group, if you look at their history, they're quite nefarious in going behind financial institution, and in recent times they have started to go behind, virtual currencies, virtual assets, and that has been their prime target. If you start to look at this particular trend of attacks, we started to see actually, the inclination of Lazarus Group towards Indian ecosystem, starting in January, February time. And essentially, when we saw the orchestration of the attack, we are essentially leaning in towards two different groups, subgroups within Lazarus. APT38, now this particular subgroup of Lazarus, they're quite infamous for setting up the whole orchestration of attack. And if you look at the second group, which is the Blue North, they are quite popular of, in sort of exfiltrating the virtual currency out of the ecosystem. Right. So these two subgroups were suspected to be involved in the overall WazirX hack.
Right. So those are the two groups, like you pointed out. So Lazarus mainly essentially targets crypto exchanges and financial institutions worldwide, right? Kumar, if you could give us a sense of what the stolen cryptocurrency will be used for and what's the primary motivation behind this?
No, it's a great question you ask. And primarily, if you look at it, right, Lazarus Group historically has been set up to infuel the economy of North Korea. Like, I'll be super honest in saying to you that, well, if you just look at the last couple of years, the cybercrime has actually infueled their economy the most than any other industry. So it is suspected that, well, this heist will be used to infuel their economy, to further their, defense establishment and their ecosystem.
Okay. Kumar Ritesh, like you just hinted, heists have been ongoing for several years with notable attacks occurring in various countries, including South Korea, Japan, the US and others since at least 2017. So tell us, how can companies safeguard themselves further to protect themselves from these attacks, and how can Cyfirma help them elevate their brand resilience and digital security? If you could take us through your offerings.
No, great question. Again, it boils down to visibility. Like, do you have, as an organization, do you have the visibility of what is going on in cybercrime community? And are you able to actually learn from it and prepare yourself? Now, what we do as Cyfirma, essentially, we give organizations the ability to understand their external threats and risks using our, single unified platform, under which we give them a complete visibility of how good or bad they look like from outside in perspective, as well as what is going on in cybercrime community pertaining to, how cybercriminals are looking at actually advancing themselves, how are they looking at actually using some of their tools, arms, and emulation to come and attack organizations. So I will go back to the visibility, and I will go back to, like, how can you possibly get a quick access to some of those early indicators, right, which you can use to really sort of, elevate your cyber posture. Because traditionally, we have been using, perimeter security controls to network security controls to endpoint security controls. And those are great, no problem at all. But you need another overarching layer, which can actually help you to better yourself from, understanding what is going on outside of the ecosystem.
Absolutely, Kumar. But, while we spoke about your offerings, you just elaborated on that. Give us a sense of your tech edge, right? How do your cloud-based AI and ML-powered analytics platforms provide the hacker's view with deep insights, helping clients prepare for impending attacks? If you could give us a use case quickly.
Look, the way we look at things, right, we are sitting outside of the organization, And we are looking at organization from a hacker's perspective, looking at their digital footprint. Like, what sort of IT, OT infrastructure they have, what sort of digital footprint they have, and what is going on in cybercrime community, from hacking perspective, from their intent perspective. And we sort of combine these two forces together to give organizations the ability to understand who is looking at attacking them, why they are looking at attacking them, what do they want, when can they attack, and how are they going to attack. Now, of course, there's humongous amount of data which we collect from all different type of forums. This is like in terabytes of data which we collect on daily basis. And of course, we have to use some of those advanced technologies like AI and ML and NLP and LLMs to really sort of, process that data and give a very personalized sort of insight to organizations for them to understand what is coming towards them.
Okay.
It's a little bit predictive in nature, I would say.
All right. On that note, Kumar Ritesh, we'll have to wrap up our conversation. Wish you the very best and many thanks for joining us on Startup Street today.
Thank you so much.
On that note, it is time for us to head into a short break.